My name is Darren Carroll. I'm with Building Systems Technologies, and I'm the General Manager. Smashburger's project. We had 90 days to get into a space that was totally clear, a white box space, and create a restaurant. Well, you have to take a space that perhaps was used for another purpose, and we have to make sure that as electricians we had the power, or the service had to be appropriate. We had to put two panels in. We had a main panel, and we had a sub panel that took care of the dining area for the most part. Once we got the service straightened out and also got the design approved by the AHJ, then we went from there and began the project. So it was a challenge working with the lighting. We had recessed lighting, we had track lighting, and then we had these flexible lights that are like a track light, but they're a hanging track light. We had one supplier that did supply all of the fixtures, but the lights were unique in that we had to have all of our rough wiring in our boxes in the ceiling in the exact proper places, and then it had to be painted black. Well, with many projects dealing with restaurants, much of the equipment, again, is equipment that we've never seen before or worked with before. For instance, there were some track lights, and we had to really go through a lot of work to get the track in that position because it was right over a countertop. And we got it all roughed in properly, and that part was fine. Then we had to assemble each one of the fixtures. It was like a hanging cord with a nice heat lamp on it. Each one had a different length. It was like a nice decorative design. And the purpose of that was to keep the food warm so that once the point of sale system and the ordering process took place, and once the trays were delivered and ready to go out to the tables, that food stayed warm for that period that it was waiting to be taken out. Now, the point of sale was some pretty new technology, all computer-based, but we had to have data outlets, each of certain locations that were identified on the blueprint. There was a certain section where the orders were taken, and there were certain other spots that information had to be delivered from point A to point B. Of course, every restaurant has a fire safety system. Of course, there's smoke that's produced when you're cooking on a grill. And each one of those grills have to have an exhaust hood that takes the fumes and the smoke and sucks it out and takes it through the roof and into the atmosphere and gets it out of the restaurant. That recovery system has to be wired into the fire alarm system. So we have the power requirements for the fans have to be done properly. Then it has to have special control circuits that are wired to make sure that the fire alarm notifies the authorities as well as the people in the restaurant by horn strobes, but also a phone call goes to the fire department simultaneously. We had to get the sign in an exact position. It had to be so high on the exterior wall, it had to be over so far from the front of the building so it can go exactly in the right spot where it was going to actually have a wiring compartment when the sign company came to mount their light. And one day we came toward the end of the job and the signs were up and they were working. They were on the timer properly. They came on when they were supposed to come on. So we were very happy. We anticipated a lot of things that we saw in the blueprints. We specified exactly what we were going to do, and our scope of work was very detailed.